Hey, you guys, it's me. So, you're watching me, put socks on right now because I literally, I'm trying not to do this video. But they won't stop. And I know that I have to do this video. So, this is what it is. So, I'm putting my socks on right now. I'm trying to get cozy. We got lucky today. It was 23 last night, but it was 40 today. So, and the sun came out for a little while. We took a walk. It was nice. So, anyway, wanted to bring you into my world for a minute. I don't know what this one's going to be called. I mean, technically it would be a bitchy witch episode, but I also feel like it's almost like confessions of a witch because I just have so many things that have been coming through, and I've been getting a lot of this from spirit. You gotta love that when you make your own homemade deck, that like certain words will come up and you're like, okay, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But then when you're pulling cards, you're like, well, fuck you. You're like, fuck this stuff. That sucks. Anyway, this really started because, as you guys know, this has been like my theme for, I don't know if you guys are going to see it, how it's going to, anyway, but I measure my success by how much fun I'm having. And this was, I do so much spirit work, can't remember exactly which one this was for, but we did have this as one of our mantras and one of our things. And I feel like spirit wants to come in. So let's just let him. Hi. Hi, guys. It's almost my birthday. That's what this is about. And I'm in such gratitude to Taylor Swift for Midnights because it's been coming to me in like bits and pieces. And when the anti-hero came into my orbit, I thought, wow, that's really interesting, because, I tell you guys all the time, we're always the hero or the villain in someone's story. And we could be both simultaneously. A lot of times we are, right? You can be the nicest person in the world, but if you inadvertently, one of my favorite analogies is, you could just be like driving along, having a great day, and you cut somebody off. You didn't even realize you cut them off, right? Because you're so in your bliss that you didn't even realize that you fucking pissed somebody off. Your bliss pissed someone off. And you're just going on your merry way, right? You're just like having the best fucking day. Everything's good, And that person's like, what the fuck? And that'll like haunt them all day. And I feel like we are in this very interesting place right now where we're really at the bottom and we're cleaning out the gunk and we're getting it out and we're getting real because shit is real. Shit is real right now. Everything that is happening is real. And drink some water if you have it. I need some water. Hold on. Okay, I only have so much time. I want to waste it drinking water. You get the drift. So, yes, being a triple Sag and my moon in Scorpio, this time of year, I so many things have been going through that I literally feel like I could just sit there and like talk for hours about all the things that I've been experiencing, my own breakthroughs. It's just been interesting. And I think it's interesting that this is like glaring at me. I measure my success by how much fun I'm having. And I am having fun until people throw wrenches into my fun. And then I'm just like, hey, wait a second. I was over there having a good time. Why'd you come in here and fuck up my chi and fuck up my flow, man? Because that's life. And there's no utopia. And I've been talking to a lot of different people or watching different like YouTube channels with people who are going through very similar things I'm going through. Cause like literally like we had another setback today and I looked at Alder and I'm like, I literally can't. Like, I can't. I'm like, it's no secret that of course we can keep doing this. I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this. And I was like, I'm done. I know I'm wearing like multiple, I have so much clothes on. It's like, but I'm warm. So I'm fucking here. And I had to stop walking around in like big bulky sweaters. I'm like, I'd rather just wear multiple layers of like my clothes and feel kind of like more like myself. But it's no, I mean, it's like, this is like the grand dame of like in your face, deal with your shit right now. I mean, I had 5 years living with Sarah, who reminded me, our old landlord, who reminded me so much of my mom, so much of Alder's mom. She was like a freakishly like combination of both of our parents. And she knew my mom. I grew up in Chicago. It's in the Pacific Northwest. What are the odds that my fucking landlord went to school with my mom in the 60s in a small town? Now, not like 100 people small, but like it's the outskirts of Chicago, but it's not like, you know what I mean? It's either way, it was just crazy. So, but went through all that, dealt with all that, but then kept feeling like I was like, dude, didn't we learn this lesson? Like, didn't I? And, you know, and I'd come to it again and again, and I was like, no, now this is just getting like fucked up. I'm like, we're not supposed to be here. And when we went to get our stuff, even she said, like, you know, I knew you guys had to go. I didn't want to be mean. She goes, I just knew that like you weren't going to find what you were looking for here. It wasn't going to happen. And I was like, no, she was right. Cut to now we're here. And I said, I told Spirit I'd prefer a man because I was watching this great episode or this great interview with Cher and Kelly Clarkson. I will put a link below. If you're new here, always look in the description box. Fun breadcrumbs to lead you to other cool things. There's also fun things that you can find out about your birth chart and things like that. So check it out. And if you would like to contribute to the work that I do here on this channel and my other channels. But yeah, it was very interesting to like when you realize that you have to be careful what you wish for because you did this to yourself. And today I was so pissed. I lost my shit because I'm like, why didn't he fucking listen? I told him. I'm like, he didn't fucking listen to me. Why? And ego, you know, I was just like. But the hardest part about this is, you know, and I've said this over and over, that he is like my dad and he has my dad's birthday. It's so weird, but not weird, right? Because my dad's passed and my dad's been gone for 8.5 years. So like my dad and I are super tight. Like we cook together, we hang out together. Like I miss him. Sometimes I'll start crying. So I'm like, I just wish you were here. And then my whole body, like I feel like he's hugging me, you know, oh, I don't want to get emotional. But that's what's weird about it. It's like my dad has like completely gone back to who he is, this powerful light worker. He always was. And so is our landlord. He's like this powerful shaman, this powerful light worker, but he's still in this place, you know, and he's 79 and I don't speak out of turn, you know, I'm not doing this to dog him. He's an incredible being all the way around, but it's just, I'm saying like watching them go through their stuff and clearly I'm still not over my stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you can bitch and you can complain. I have my little birds. You can bitch and you can complain, but you have to remember that words have power and thoughts have power. It's like somehow, some way, like I brought him to, like we all came together for a reason. I tried to back out of this so many times. And every time some other like magical fucking thing would happen where I'm like, okay, like literally the only thing that would be even, that would like really like make this more like a sign would be if like the goddess produced herself right in front of me in, you know what I mean? Like those kind of signs you're like, okay, no, I'm on the right path. I know we're supposed to be here. But karma is very real. You know, I just put a, go look in my shorts. I just posted something about karma and it's very fucking real. And it was with that Unholy song. It's like, Spirit's been bringing me fucking pearls. I've been having so much fun. I hope you guys are enjoying my shorts there. It's like my creative, like making short films. You know, I'm an artist. I have my other channel. I just changed it. It's now Lula Kelly, the Poetic Prophet. And I think I'm going to start pulling things away again, where I'm going to be doing some stuff over there and some stuff over here, because this is my magical medium channel. This is where we all come to. This is where we work with spirit, is on this channel, where I feel like the Poetic Prophet, of course, there's spirit is always there with me. And you are always with me. But at the same time, it's different. I mean, I've made 2 shorts for that channel in the last, I don't know, few days. And it's like, holy shit. It's like amazing how fast people can come. And I'm starting to understand what's happening. So whenever we're at the end of something and it's so fucking brutal that we're like, I can't keep going. I can't keep going, you know, and people are like, push through it, push through it, push through it. You know, sometimes we just can't. And that's okay. When I was in college, you know, I went back, I'm 50 now, but when I went back to college, I was in my late 30s. And one of my teachers, one of my professors, she really tried hard with me. I was really struggling. And long story short, I was getting upset because I had a 4.0 and I had failed miserably through junior high and high school because my parents divorced and my family blew up, and I just was a mess. I was just like flying all over. Like I was a mess for a long time. A lot of people looked out for me. A lot of people looked out for me. And I'm in gratitude for them, because honestly, if it weren't for them, I would have been dead 100 times over. So, and I know that it was meant to be that way and everything, you know, but I am in gratitude. But I just realized like all of these things that have been like happening, like from my past and like my present, and how I'm trying so hard to move forward, and how certain things that keep revisiting, that spirit telling us like, you're not done. Like, you still have to work through this. I don't know how to help you anymore. I'm trying to send you signs. I'm trying to tell you, but like only you can do it. And that's what I've been feeling. I've been feeling like this really strong, that like, even though my dad and I feel good, I still didn't resolve those human issues that I had with my dad that are happening with my landlord. Because I love him like a dad. Like I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. But I don't like him very much right now. And I'm frustrated because he doesn't listen. And I keep trying and trying and trying and trying. And I am in a place where obviously I am not a good teacher, because I am getting too triggered by this. So I clearly need to still work on things. And that's what this is all about. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys, is like, 11:55. They said, look down, 11:55. So I'll put that number down. And I, this week, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, finally, I was like, I get the point. Because it was like 11:22. I looked at the clock, then 11:33, 11:44, 11:55. And I'll put those numbers below because they're really important for us to look at. And I want you to research it on your own, because I absolutely positively know from personal experience that you will retain that information more if you read it yourself. And if you're here and if you're drawn to it, go look those up. All that information will be in the description box below as well. I always read. I always watch these back and then read them. I'm so stoned right now, but I needed to be, honestly, because like, I just like this right now. It's like I can be grounded as fuck. I can be so like, kumbaya, my lord. Like, I'm all happy. I'm totally having a good time. My life is good. And then it's like, I turn on my phone and I see a message. Hey, sorry. It's my injury's way worse than I thought. I'm like, here we go. And I was like, okay. And I just lost my fucking shit. I just lost my shit. But I know it's going to get resolved, because something has to happen and something has to change. I just don't know if it's going to be where they're going to have me and him have a come to Jesus in a beautiful, kind, and loving way. Or if we, you know, this is just a huge lesson for them, you know, and I just need to be the teacher and not the fucking brat that's like, I want in my fucking house. You know what I mean? Like, I've enough, you know. Because it's hard, because they'll send me these texts like, everything's downhill from here next week, you know, and it's just like, just stop it. I'm like, I can't. The roller coaster, it's just too much. It makes me feel like a fucking crazy person. And I have tried very, 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 very hard to stay away from people who are completely ungrounded and off-centered. And because the worst is because I know I've been there. That's why this is triggering me, right? Because it's making me go deeper and more intricate into like us looking at ourselves and realizing how much we are all one. We're all the same fucking person. You know, we're just at different levels of consciousness. We may look different on the outside or the inside, or ages are different, but you know, we need hearts and blood and bones to move these beautiful organic meat sacks around, you know, but there are little avatars, but we have to remember that we are a spirit. We are a light being having a human experience, and there's no utopia. So before my birthday, I don't know what's going to happen. I think I'm going to go off the grid again. And I think if I do, I think I'm either just going to write or whatever, or Spirit's going to have me do another little thing like I did for Samhain, like a countdown to like whatever, to my birthday. Not that it's all about me, but like maybe we all need that because, my birthday's the 13th and then it's 12 days to Christmas. I know, it's crazy. Right. And, a little around a week to Yule, right? So winter solstice, like that's a really big deal. And is it 9 days? What'd you say? 13? Was that 8 days? 8 days? I'm too tired. And a little high. But I don't care because if I had to like do like this self-soothing, I can't. Like I don't know. It's just like I just get to a point where I'm like everything is like so good and I'm on a high vibration and blah blah blah, and then it's like something comes in. And I think that the moral of this story is we need to find a way to deal with people better. It is arrogance, but it is also soul knowledge when we are dealing with someone that we know is completely ungrounded, and you're trying to say like, oh, maybe blah blah blah. They're like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm totally grounded. I've got my shit together. It's like, because when you're in it, it's like a cyclone. When it's in the air, everything's fine. It's all sticky. You know what I mean? It's when it stops and a fucking huge tractor that's still going because it was moving, and maybe the guy was like, holy shit, it came out of nowhere and it was moving and he jumped out of the tractor and you know what I mean? I'm just giving you a story, right? Like Twister. If you've never seen that movie, you've got to see Twister. Watch it with your family. It's a good nail biter. I love that movie. Oh, and I can't talk about him because he's crossed over. But thank you, Bill Paxton. Yeah, because that was an angel. So actually, hi, Bill Paxton. You can come in if you want. He's a Chicago boy. My Chicago native. I think I'm almost positive he is. Anyway, but imagine that, right? So imagine that tractor. The cyclone stops. The tractor flies down from how many feet from the sky? It's gonna fuck shit up. It's gonna come at a house like a wrecking ball. Bye-bye, house. You know what I mean? So right now he's in the cyclone. And I pray to God someday he doesn't hate me for ever using him. But it's funny because he says to us all the time, I'm using you guys. I'm like, don't say things like that. He goes, no, I'm just saying like, you're my spiritual gurus. You help me. Like Alder's been, working on his shoulder and things like that. But you guys know I'm just real. I tell you the truth, what's going on in my life. It's not like I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm an influencer. Look at my life. Like, look what I'm wearing and whatever. And that's me being a dick. So I apologize. But you also know I've been praising other influencers like Hayley, who, I'm gonna keep. I feel like she's kind of like our angel on our like YouTube channel of the month, and I keep Bracha down there because really, if you haven't found Bracha Goldsmith, she's just delightful. So, but yeah, we're all getting real about this shit. So I'm an archangel, angel, dragon, witch, unicorn. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. Put any label on it. Teacher, shaman, Tallulah, Lula, Kelly, whatever the fuck I am, all I know is that I'm here to have my own human experience, but I also know that I'm way more than that. I know I work when I'm sleeping. I'm a spirit guide when I'm sleeping for other people. Sometimes I'm in my story. Sometimes I'm in these other stories. I'm multidimensional. We all are. Some of us are tapped into things more than others. But I just started to like see these patterns of things that were happening with him and my dad. And I was just like, oh my God. And I literally stopped talking to my father twice in my life. Once for 5 years. And I think once for, was it almost 6 or I don't know. It was a long, like, I just couldn't deal with my dad. Hold on. And, it's interesting because I've never met another person that is this much like my father. And he has his birthday. I can't make it up. I made him show me. I'm like, let me see your fucking driver's license. Like, I thought he was fucking. I'm like, there's no fucking way. That's crazy. That's crazy. And my dad, I think there was a lot of residual guilt with my dad that he didn't help me more because he helped everybody else but me. Like, I'd go to my dad's bar. And he had like a bar, restaurant, like nightclub. They had weddings there. It was like 2 floors. It was really cool. But the bar part, sometimes I would go and like have a drink or something, or I'd be in town when I was living in LA. I'd go visit my dad. And people would be like, oh, your dad, he's amazing. And they would tell me these stories about my dad. And I'm like, they're like, he paid my, if it wasn't for your dad, my electric would have been shut off. And I'm like, my dad doesn't even give me money. I don't even, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, my dad was always like, I don't give handouts. You can work for it. And he would say to me, you know what? He goes, you know how many women wish they looked like you? And he literally would tell me to use my looks to get what I want. So I did. That's why I think I needed to go through this phase where I had to take it all off and no more fake nails and no more. I started coloring my hair again. But you guys know I was like, you know, those of you who've been with me for a long time, like I went back to my natural hair color for 5 years. Like I was like en natural. I don't shave anywhere anymore. I haven't used a razor any. Oh no, that's not true. Sometimes I shave my legs, but I barely have hair. So sometimes I'm just like, that's just silly. You know, but I'm lucky. I'm not very hairy for me personally. I'm fine with it. But I'm just noticing all of these things about myself that were learned behaviors or taught, or like literally was like my parents telling me, or my family or my friends, and nobody knew any better, you know, like even now. That's why I had to stop. I feel like I want to come over here. I feel like I had to stop talking to so many people because of that. So many times they would, you know, and thank you to one of our tribe members I was talking to earlier. I just read their last message, and it said something like about, you know, I was talking about their holidays or whatever. And they're just like, oh, it's, you know, it's challenging being yourself, and people keep trying to like bring you back to a version of yourself that they, you know, think they, you know, and I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. So if you found yourself here onto this channel, it's, you know, it's okay to change and it's okay to evolve and grow. That's like part of our whole fucking process, is to change and evolve and grow. And, you know, getting angry, it's not doing anything but making me upset. And I'm like, everybody's upset in my situation right now. Nobody's happy. It's, there's a lot of things. And I also feel like that all of us have to look at ourselves more in depth and depthly. You know, we have to really look at ourselves and look at like what part that we've played in this story. And my dad constantly wanted to be the hero. And my dad liked being the big shot. If you ever seen the movie Big Fish, another great movie to watch, that's like my dad. I'm not joking. I was like watching that movie hysterically crying. And I remember even saying to my dad, I'm like, have you seen Big Fish? He's like, everybody keeps saying that. And I'm like, because it is. Because my dad would tell these stories and we're like, did that really happen, Dad? You know, and he's like, but now I realize my dad was just a powerful light worker. And in his mind, yes, it's like they were Siamese twins. They were, you know, they were connected together, or like whatever. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's like all of those like outlandish things. It's like he saw it in the way he saw it. And I think that there's something to be said about that right now. And even now, it's like, I feel sad for, you know, what he's going through, our landlord, because it's hard to watch somebody you care about keep hurting themselves in ways that they're not even recognizing, or maybe they are, but they just don't have the strength or the courage to admit it. And I think right now, 23, 28, and then it was 23, 29. I think now is the time. Now is the hour. We have the strength, we have the power, to really kind of man up, so to speak, as light workers, and just be like, so what? Like, it's weird. It's like, there's this side of me that like, when I see that, I'm like, and I like get enraged, and it's like, it's beyond Southside Chicago Kelly. It's like this where I'm like, that's fucking it. Like, I am done. I'm like, I'm going to go do it myself, because a lot of the stuff that needs to be done, I've done before. And I'm like, let me do it. And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, I'm like, don't be stubborn. That's how my dad was. My dad's like, no, it was his artwork. It was his masterpiece. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm like, you're down, man. Like, you're fucking down. You're wounded. You're 79. It's going to take you way longer to fucking come back from that injury. Any injury having to do with our limbs is like, you know, we need our limbs to function. It's no joke. It's no fucking around. It's like, you know, so I have to be patient, and I have to be kind, and I have to find a way to work through this and not be angry. And, you know, I told Alder, I said, the sad thing is that the day before this happened, I was called to go up to the cabin and unpack and like go through, because I feel like there's more things we need to get rid of, but they brought wanted us to bring him up here, to bring him to the charity up here. You know, because like it's for people that are up here, not down there. So I was like, I thought, well, I'll do that. I'll go through that. But it was like after Thanksgiving, and I was so tired, you know, because I do all the cooking and everything and all the cleaning and everything. And, you know, and having to like get the water and like heat the water. And I'm in a third world country situation. And let me tell you something, it made me realize like how fucking blessed we are. We are seriously so blessed. Every day I live like this, I get angry, but I'm not just angry because I'm like, oh, I deserve better. It's like, well, yeah, of course, that's because I wasn't raised that way. You know, if you don't know any better, if you were getting up every fucking day and getting water, walking 2 miles to get water and bringing it back and heating it up over a fire, you don't know any fucking different. That's your life. And before we had running water and all these luxuries that we have now, you know, that's the way it was. So I try to look at it like that. And I try to think and remember that I won't be doing this forever, but there are people that may be doing this for the rest of their lives if they don't change things, or if they don't have, you know, or they just live in a place where they don't have technology, or they don't have, you know what I mean? Like, and so I think the world itself is just in this massive transformational period. And I'm in gratitude for these lessons. I'm in gratitude for this hardship, as fucking hard as it is. And I'm gritting my teeth a little, but I'm laughing too. And I am having fun as much as possible. As much as possible. But you know what was cute? I don't know if it's still at the top. Oh yeah. So when I was like asking Spirit like what I should do, this card came out, the Prince of Autumn. And they said, this is Jolly. They're like, he may be an elder, but right now he's in his, like, he's not there yet. He still has to work through a few things. So hold on. Side note, I just said to Spirit, I was like, dude, I don't fucking like name dropping or talking. I'm like, I'm gonna delete this and start over. And they're like, no. And I said, why? I said, they're like, because only Jolly's ego would be angry that you're talking about this, because he wants people to see him in this perfect way when he's not. He's fallen apart. His wife died 4 months ago. His wife of 56 years. You can't just keep going on like nothing happened. Some people, they're like, oh, everybody's different. I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's different. Everybody handles grief differently. But you don't have a significant loss like that and be as gentle and loving and beautiful as he is and not be affected. There's no fucking way. So Spirit had me, so here we go. So it says dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. And he's all of those things. I love him so much. And that's what I loved about my dad. That was the crazy thing. My dad was the same way. That's why everybody loved my dad and supported his business. That's why he did well. He had his own little fishing show. He's a musician. He played music. It was like his dream. He got to be the kingfish, the big fish in his own pond. He made his own world. And that's how, you know, that is. But this is like way bigger. Like, I feel like you guys will meet Jolly eventually. At least I hope you do. And, you know, it's like, because we all need to see ourselves. We need to get real and raw and see ourselves. You know, I'm not like outing him. It's more like, you know, we need our leaders and our shamans right now. We all have to wake up. And they wouldn't have sent me, I feel like, humbled in his presence sometimes. So like, they wouldn't have brought me to him if I wasn't meant to help him. And he wouldn't have been brought to me if he wasn't meant to help me, you know? So it's a beautiful, beautiful matrix. I mean, it is, the whole game is fun if you look at it that way. But at the same time, we have to deal with our shit. And I didn't want to deal with that shit. I thought I dealt with that shit with my dad because we had this new relationship that was like better. But it wasn't, was it? Because that stuff, those seeds were still there. And they need to be squashed, or they need to grow into something more beautiful. So this card says cautious but wise action. And I felt like that was Spirit saying, be careful. You know, he is loving and beautiful and all these things, but don't fucking push him too far. He's also your elder, and like, you need to fucking respect him. And I was like, okay, ooh, Alder's back. Perfect timing. I'm almost done with this. Meticulous attention to detail, which is why he wanted to do it himself, because he's an artist, and I get it, you know. But my other side's like, move out of the way, old man, and let me fucking do it. Honestly, I know it's awful because I've done this stuff before. I had a house before. I had a house in LA, a beautiful little bungalow. And then it says kindness to others. And that's when I realized Spirit was like 2947. They're like, stop. You should be so fucking blessed. We took a walk today when it was nice. We took a walk and we found this one area that we hadn't like seen since like a lot of the leaves dropped off, you know, because when we moved here, it was summer. And Alder goes, oh my God, babe, look at the view. I'm like, oh. And I go, we need to build a house, either build our house here or like have like, this is where we have like our long house, you know, where everybody like eats and comes together. And it's like our living room where everybody hangs out. You know, maybe we have like dorms where people come and stay and work with spirit and do plant medicine. We got so excited. And it's just like, then we like walk to the top and I'm like, yeah, we do have to have our house up here though. Cause then it's like the bay, this straight, you know what I mean? It's like unbelievable. Fucking Mount Baker yesterday was so beautiful. It was like crazy. It was like floating in the clouds because like we've been having all these snowstorms. So it's magical, you know, and that's what I have to remember and stop being a dick, man. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a dick. I didn't realize it, but I am. And I was raised by the best of them. They made me tough and I had to be tough because I was on my own for a long time. But now Spirit's like, soften up, come from heart, be kind. This dude's hurting. And also it's like, it's not just that he's hurting. It's like when Spirit puts us out like that, that's them. That's our higher self saying, I told you to fucking slow down. I told you to stop it. Stop going against the grain. Go with the flow. So I'm going to go with my flow. I made the most amazing homemade chili. Oh my gosh. I'm doing a video, Alder, but you could be on the end of it if you want. So Alder's coming in and we're going to have some chili. And guess what, Alder? He may or may not like this news. Guess what free movie was released?
Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, but that would have been a good one. Miracle on 34th Street, the original one. In black and white. So that's what's on the menu today. All right, you guys, until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. Slow down. Feel it. You know, I had to cry. I had to get it out. I had to, you know what I mean? Like, and I had to pull some cards. If you need to, get some guidance from Spirit, you know? And you can get guidance, by the way. You don't need to have tarot cards or anything. You can grab any book that you have and just meditate and say, give me a number. And you'll see like 177 in your mind's eye. Go to your favorite book and you'll like read a passage and it'll be like one sentence and you'll be like, I get it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I had a friend who loved the Bible. And even though like she knows how I feel about that and the man-made religions and stuff. And she said, yeah, but you know what? She goes, there's some fucking pearls in there, man. She goes, there's some pearls in there. And she goes, I use it like a tarot cards or like oracle cards. And I was like, what? And she just would like open the book to wherever it was and like close her eyes and like, you know, read a passage. And she's like, so whatever works for you, you know, I do what works for me. And I love you guys and I appreciate the support and the new subscribers. Thank you for joining us. We love you. You are part of our soul family. And if you haven't yet, go read the about section because that's a little message from Spirit and me to you. Until next time, again, love each other and love yourself and be kind. And when you need to take a breather, take a breather. When you need to walk outside and scream, walk outside and scream. Even if someone's like, I'm sorry, be like, and come back and be like, it's fine. Alder's coming in from chopping wood and it was really cold and rainy out there. That's why he has a little sniffles. All right. Love you, boo. Try that chili. It's fucking amazing. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.